Alien Party Gamers, this is the Node 304. It's the bigger brother to the Node 202 and the slightly newer version of the Core 500 from Fractal Design. We're going to be going over this awesome LAN party PC case, showing you the ins and outs and the pros and cons if you're considering this case. This was a computer I built for a friend of mine, and the case and everything was a joy to build in. And I'll be going through some of the issues that I had while building it, as well as some things that you might be able to avoid when building in it yourself. So stay tuned as we take you through the Node 304. The Node 304 has a very unassuming look. Just by looking at it straight off the bat, you wouldn't really know what's inside. There's no windows to accentuate the gaming feel of it. You could even use this as an office space and it wouldn't be too outlandish. It would fit very easily inside of a desk or on top of it alongside your monitor. We wanted to use this case specifically for its size and form factor. It sports an ITX motherboard and tray area and a full-size power supply bay. It's able to give more space for all the peripherals because it puts the power supply at the front and routes the power cable to the back next to the I/O tray. When we go inside the case, it's released by several thumb screws, 4 thumb screws, and on the inside you have a very white and black stark display here of what's inside. Now, what's different about this case from the Core 500 is that the Core 500 has 2 trays in the front in order for you to have some CD-ROM drives. Unlike that, this forewent the CD-ROM tray front end for 2 92mm fans that suck in air from the front and another fan in the back that blows it all out. The fan in the back is 140mm. It comes with a 3-way splitter for you to power all these fans off of a single Molex cable, which means that you're able to actually control your fan speed with a button, or switch rather, on the back side, going from high, middle to low. The ITX motherboard fits snugly, but not too much to where it's hard to get in underneath the fan, and you're able to get all the cables plugged in without too much issue. There wasn't any problems with that. The ATX power supply fits in as well, very securely with L brackets and a custom mounting solution here from Fractal Design. The video card fits on the other side here, and as you can see that there is a case cutout specifically for the video card intake. Now, my suggestion when building this was have a blower style fan to get as much air out of the back of the case as possible, and with having the case fan intake on the side directly, it helps get cold air into the system. Now, as you'll notice, there is plenty of room for non-standard size video cards in this case if you don't mind not using the furthest right hard drive bay. Here we have a GTX 1070 from MSI. This is the Twin Frozer edition, so it's extra high, extra tall, and it's the same width. And as you can see, it would fit just fine inside of this case, even though it's almost a full inch taller than the reference card. The only issue with using a tall card is, again, you would have to sacrifice the space inside of this hard drive tray. You'd also have to worry about a little bit more of cable management. Now, we're already not using this farthest right hard drive tray because the cables for the system and video card we're routing through this tray in order to hide them. We're using twist and zip ties in order to do so, and it keeps everything very well inside that hard drive tray. We're right now using the middle one for our solid state. Now, on their website, they do boast the ability to hold 6 full-sized hard drives or SSDs. I would find that to be a little snug. You might have to find some funny places to put them inside of these hard drive trays. They probably mean putting them horizontally. The way that we found that works best is you can put a standard solid state sideways inside of these hard drive bays, and it works just fine. Air is able to travel right out over the solid state, and it stays nice and cool. Because of the limitations in size and stuff, we went ahead and just went with a full terabyte solid state in order to keep the total amount of drives down to a minimum. Obviously, with modern day motherboard, you could also put an NVMe M.2 drive in there, and you wouldn't have any of those kind of limitations. So not something really needs to be worried about in this day and age unless you're planning on using this for like a server or NAS case. Back to the cooling on the system, because of the height and they wanted to not sacrifice anything in that matter, they allow you to use full tower radiator style coolers in this. And we're talking about air cooling, something along the lines of a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, for instance, should be able to fit in here, no problem. We're just using the stock Intel solution as we're not doing any overclocking, but I feel like if there was anything else we wanted to put in this, such as a tall tower cooler, we wouldn't have any issues whatsoever. Just mount it straight to the motherboard and then mount the motherboard to the chassis thereafter. My only issue with this case was trying to put together everything and then figuring out how to put back the hard drive mounting solution that Fractal made for this. It is more of a cable management nightmare as far as how low they made these hard drive brackets. I feel like if they would have just made them as high as they could, then you just use solid states with it. That might have been a better choice. Or if they had a different way to mount hard drives, possibly to the side of the chassis or at the bottom, like a basement, for instance, or maybe on the front. All in all, it's a very good case. I love the size of this thing. It's no problem for my friend Marie to get it to and from a LAN, and for that matter, anybody. Because of its size, you can just fit this in a car, and you shouldn't have any problem from then on out. That's the Node 304. I hope you found this interesting, and if you have any questions about this or any other cases that you'd like us to review, please let us know and put something in the comments. Of course, give us a like and a comment, and don't forget, we're still running the giveaway for the Cherry MX keyboards. You can find a link to that in the description below, so make sure you sign up for that giveaway. We'll be doing the drawing for that towards the end of this month. So stay tuned to this channel, and you'll see if you'll win. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.